Hi guys, welcome back to Legal Talk with Temi. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is the channel where we discuss the legal aspect of every issue. My name remains Temi Tokwe Odeyinka. Over the last couple of weeks, I started discussing the business organizations that we have in Nigeria. And last week and 2 weeks ago, I spent time discussing about the registration of business name in Nigeria. This week, I have decided to take it a step further by discussing about registration of companies in Nigeria. In this video, I'm going to define what a company is, tell you the different types of companies we have in Nigeria, the reasons why you should register a company, and the advantages and disadvantages of registration of a company, the requirements you need for registration. I'll tell you about the powers of a company and basically all you need to know about registration of a company. However, you should note that this video is not all encompassing. You still need to discuss your specific issue with a lawyer who would advise you appropriately on the types of company that you should register and eventually assist you in the registration of the company. Good news is that my firm organizes a consultation session every Wednesday. So all you need to do is to click the link below and register your spot so that we can chit chat about your specific issue next Wednesday. Before we go on, I would encourage you to please like this video. Okay, it's necessary to encourage you at this point to like this video, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to my channel. You could also click on the notification button so you know when a video drops. We drop a video on this channel every Friday by 2 p.m. Okay, so we're going to start by defining what a company is. A company is a legal entity that is recognized within a particular jurisdiction. A company is a juristic person, and what that means is that a company can do whatever a human being, an individual, can do. So there are different types of companies in Nigeria. Okay, so we're going to talk about the different types of companies we have in Nigeria. We have the limited liability company, we have the unlimited liability company, and we have the companies limited by guarantee. It should be noted that each of these form of company can either be private or public. And what do we mean? So now, what do we mean by a limited liability company? This is a company whereby the liability of its members, who are known as the shareholders, are limited to a certain number. So take for instance, you have a company that has maybe 5 million shares, for instance, and you in that company, you have 1 million shares. So if you do not pay up that 1 million shares and that company is wound up eventually, or the meaning of winding up of a company means the company's life comes to an end. That's like the death of a company. So if that company is wound up and the company is indebted, it means you're liable to pay those people that the company is indebted to up to 2 million naira. They cannot collect any money from you beyond 2 million naira. So that's the meaning of limited liability. Unlimited liability company means that if that company is indebted to people or anything, all the shareholders have to fulfill their obligations. They have to pay those debts. There is no limit to their liability. And a company limited by guarantee, this is a kind of company that does not have any shareholding, but the subscribers to the memorandums, who are also the members, they have undertaken that in the event that the company is wound up, they are going to contribute a certain amount of money to pay the company's liabilities. So going further, I'm going to let you understand the differences between the limited liability company, the company limited by guarantee, and the unlimited. Now that we know what a company is and the different types of company, it will be good to know what you need to form a company. It should be known that one person now can form a company, you should definitely know that a company can be formed for only legal purposes. And and their capacity to form a company. Anybody who is less than 18 cannot form a company. A person who is of unsound mind cannot form a company. Anybody that has been declared bankrupt cannot form a company. And anybody that has been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction for any offenses in relation to fraud or misappropriation of a company cannot form a company. However, there's an exception to this general rule. In the event that there are two people in the formation of a company, in the case where the person is under the age of 18 years, if two people that want to form that company are over 18, then the third person can be a minor. Can be a minor or can be of unsound mind. That's the only exception to the capacity to form a company. So now let's move further to discuss in depth about the different types of company, like I mentioned earlier. So a private company limited by shares, the minimum shareholding that a private company registered in Nigeria can have is 200,000. While a public company, the minimum shareholding that you can have is 5 million naira. This means that you cannot incorporate a company, a private company that is less than 200,000, and you cannot incorporate a public company that is less than 5 million naira. And the private company, the difference is, what's the difference between a private limited liability company and a public limited liability company is that in a private limited liability company, not anybody can acquire its shares. There are limitations to the acquisition of its shares. There is it protects the few members of the company, and it limits the numbers of the company to 50. No more than 50 people can form a private company. However, the law also makes an exception where it comes to employees, where some employees are shareholders, but this is to a certain limit. I won't go in depth into this because your lawyer should be able to advise you appropriately on this. When it comes to company limited by guarantee, there are situations where you register a company limited by guarantee, and this is, for instance, in a situation where you want to promote an objective in respect to art, commerce, education, but you do not want to have an incorporated trustee, which is what most people know as a foundation, and you want to form a company, then you can form this company. But that company cannot make is going to be written in the memorandum and articles that that company is not formed for profit-making purposes, which means that all sums generated from that company, every single amount you make in profit for that company, is only going to be used for the company's objects. And in the event of winding up of the company, where you've paid up all your debts and everything, the remaining money that you have from the company is going to be used, put into a company of similar objects, or some other charitable organization that has similar objects. So let's say this company limited by guarantee was formed for maybe educational purposes, to advance education, vocational education, for instance. And at some point, the members of that company decided to wind up that company. That's fine. When you're winding up that company, all your remaining assets that you have, you're going to sell it, and you're going to put the remaining money into another entity that does similar objects. The members cannot share that money. Okay, so like I have stated the types of companies that we have. It's necessary for you to understand that a company, even though the law sees a company as a human being, unlike a human being that can talk and express his or herself, a company cannot do all that. And the only way by which a company can states what it wants to do, express itself, is through its documentation. And this documentation upon incorporation are called the memorandum and articles of association. These are the documents that guards and limits the powers of a company, and guards the day-to-day activities of a company. Okay, so like I said, the memorandum and articles of association dictates all what the companies can do or cannot do. So it is necessary when you are incorporating a company for you to state extensively what businesses you would like to use that company to perpetuate, and you and your lawyer need to be on the same page when registration happens, so that you do not in future go and start perpetuating a business that exceeds the power of your company. So now that just takes us right to the next topic. What are the powers of a company? You should note that a company, like any other human being, can do almost anything, but we all know that even as a human being you cannot do anything, and there are limits to that power of a company. A company cannot fund a political party. A company cannot do anything that is illegal in Nigeria. And thirdly, a company cannot do anything that is outside the object of its memorandum and articles of association. For instance, you want to take a loan in a bank, and your memorandum of association does not include the powers for the company to take a loan from the bank. You cannot do it because your memorandum and articles of association has not given you that power. So but you know, the good part about this is that you can always amend your MEMAT at any time to meet with what your company's current needs are. And you should know that there are limits to the amendment of the MEMAT also. It's not all the content of the MEMAT that can be amended. Okay, so why should you register a company? Like I said, a company is a juristic person. A company can do whatever a human being can do. It limits your liability, unlike a business name, whereby you are the business name. The company limits your liability to the amount of shares you have in that company. For posterity's sake, you should have a company, because regardless of whatever happens to you, you are not the company. You are just a part of the company. Whatever happens to you, the company can continue to thrive and continue to live and continue to do business. Another reason why you should register a company is that some specific industries, for instance, if you want to engage in banking business, you want to engage in insurance business, you cannot use a business name. The only way you can engage in those kind of businesses is through a company. Or this goes down into oil and gas. Nobody will give you petroleum license if you do not have a company that is duly incorporated in Nigeria. So the reasons also forms most of the advantages of having a company. The disadvantage of having a company stems from you having a company before you're supposed to have a company, which I explained in my business registration of business name video extensively. You have to pay company income tax. You have to pay company income tax. You cannot just change anything in the company without informing CAC in due time. You must always pass a resolution for any decision that the company wants to take. A company must meet every year, and there are so many other. They are not particularly disadvantaged, but if you're a very small company, it might be strenuous on you for you to carry out all these activities. Then, finally, I would be discussing the requirements for registration. The very first thing you need, like we all know, is the name of your company. You're going to need to have the name of your company. What will be your shareholding? Who are going to be the members of the company? All those members, they're going to be present their details, and their details, which includes their address, physical address, email address, phone number, their age, and their means of identification, and so on. And also, when it comes to the company, you need to state where the address will be. If the company already has an email address, the email address of the company, if it will have any branches, and all those. And then you need to write the terms you want in the articles and memorandums of association. You need to sit down clearly with your lawyer and discuss the objectives of your company. And you need to know, you should note, like I said earlier, that this video is just to give you a background knowledge about what a company is. You still need to discuss with your lawyer and sit down with your lawyer to align the objectives of your company, so that you would not, when you start running the company, you would not perpetrate anything that is outside the powers as stated in your memorandum of association, and you're not going to do anything that contravenes the provisions of your articles of association. Okay guys, thank you for watching and staying tuned. I hope you learned one or two things from this discussion. Please remember that there is a consultation session run by my firm every Wednesday, so to discuss the specific need of your own particular business or company. And also you can also, the link is below for registration. You can also see our website for the other services that my firm renders. Okay guys, so that's it on this episode of Legal Talk with Timmy. If you've not liked this video already, kindly like it, share it with your family and friends, subscribe to this channel, and please comment. I would really love to know, I would really love to read your feedback on this video. And more importantly, if there is an area of law that you would like me to discuss in my future videos, kindly state it below, and definitely we're going to get to it. Till I come your way again next week, I remain Temitope Odenyinka.